We're biased, but Grunes is the best way to get your greens. With our snack pack of 8 daily gummies, there's no choking down mystery pills or cleaning up powdery messes. Packed with 20 plus vitamins, minerals, and 60 whole food ingredients, Grunes is vegan, gluten-free, and tastes incredible. Even your kids will love Grunes Cubs, the easiest way to get them excited about greens. Get up to 45% off your first order with code PODCAST. Grunes, health without the hassle or the weird taste.
Welcome and thank you for tuning in to Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy. The following content may involve explicit language and materials, so listener discretion is advised.
All right, next. What's the next A? Is there another A? Stink?
Negative. We're on California now.
California. Ew.
Okay.
I'm talking to two Cali girls here.
Not me. Not eyes that
She's
fly.
a former Cali girl. Now she's officially Kentuckian. 31
take it.
years, baby.
I don't do sand, sun, or water. There's nothing for me in California. I've been there once, and it was freaking miserable.
Where did you go?
I don't know.
I'm trying to block it out of my
I was
memory.
forced to go when I was a kid to see my father. I did meet a famous guy in an airplane, but I don't know. He was a cartoonist. And I wish I would have saved his thing because I just sat by him because my siblings, we were scared and I'm social. So I just sat by some grown man on an airplane when I was like 12. No biggie. And he drew me like Homer Simpson and stuff and signed it and gave it to me. But I have no idea what I did with it.
Oh, no.
I hear you. But yeah, we were forced to go there. I know that it was somewhere where we had to go into a mountain where I got car sick getting there and back.
Oh, that's a lot of places.
It was nice, though, to sit on the porch drinking coffee because it was cold outside in the mountains and it was beautiful. We were close enough that I saw it's not a walk of shame, dear God, the stars.
It's a walk of Hollywood. Yeah, it's a walk of shame.
Nowadays, it's a walk of shame.
Yeah.
I went to Disneyland.
Cool.
So we were close enough to all of that. I just have no idea where the hell I was at.
Yeah.
I was in the dreaded place. If you whistle for a lost canary prior to 7 a.m., there can be legal consequences. It's undoubtedly.
Know that. Heather, you need to know that. You know what? That's crazy that I didn't know that.
What if you go out there and you're like, you're trying to call some other bird? Is that okay? Just can't be a canary?
It can't be a canary. When they come up and they say, "Excuse me, ma'am, were you whistling for your canary at 6:55 this morning?" You say, "Actually, it was my parakeet." I'm in the clear.
How do you know what a canary sounds like? Anybody?
Anybody? It's no.
It's like my canary. That was great, right? That is actually really funny because the episode I just posted yesterday, I talked about how part of the curse was that there was a snake that got into his house and literally ate his canary.
Oh, shit.
Wow. And that is the only 2 times I've had, that's really interesting that I'll pop that at once. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, are you ready? Are you ready for the second one? Because this is great. I don't know what a canary looks like. I think it's yellow.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I think so.
I think it's
like
Tweety bird is almost like a canary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that would explain you know what? The whole concept of don't eat the canary or you ate the canary.
Yeah.
And Sylvester Tweety that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It tracks.
We're learning so much.
I was today's years old. This is thrilled.
But still, do we know what a canary sounds like if we know what Tweety bird sounds like?
Peter. Thrilled Peter.
Okay. Hello there. Maybe Tweety bird's real name is Peter.
Earlier, it did say we were bangable.
Hey, girls, you bangable. My name's Peter.
I was going to say my Peter's thrilled to see you, but okay. Go with yours. All right. This is good. Ready? Dogs cannot mate within 500 yards from a church.
I love how they specify dogs. Like dogs specifically.
Yes.
Moose. I love people.
That moose got stuff and muffin.
Dog. How do you enforce that? What if you have 2 wild dogs just out and about doing their thing?
Well, that's such a far. A lot of yards is what they do. Got a flag, and it's like the fuck flag.
I know, like the sight line can be on this line.
Must be this far to fuck.
Must be this far to fuck. You were within the limits. What did I do? They pick him up and take him straight to the
Like,
pound. A point, like that's
Yes,
their
sir.
consequence.
Or
Or it's like in trouble for that. Like we're getting a fine as the dog owner. What if the dog?
Oh no.
That's what I'm saying.
What is like choking and CPR, but you don't do anything? You can still get charged for not helping them. Is
I
that?
know.
What is
I
that
saw
called?
those.
So I
Like,
was
once they
yeah.
pull up to your house and they go, "We know that you saw those two dogs fucking 495 yards away from the church. You are now liable."
This was. What if the front paws of one dog is past the line and the rear from the other?
Oh my god! I think it depends where the actual fucking is happening.
Penetration happening? Is that what that like?
Yeah, that's
Like
what I would have had.
across the plane or something. Oh, this is fantastic. Okay, where was I? I gotta focus. All right. Ooh, okay, here we go. In the city of Blythe, if you can say pronounce that, you cannot wear cowboy boots unless you own a minimum of 2 cows. Cool. 1 breast boot.
Pose class. How does Howard sent out?
He has horses and he just pays them like a cow.
Their asses. Well, I don't have cows, but I have 3 goats. Nah.
Yeah, leave the ball.
No boot.
I got 1 cat, the other.
One cow, you can have an ankle boot. You don't get a full boot. You have the earlier spurs, motherfucker.
Giddy on up. Good
Also,
Lord.
My dad's mom, so like my grandma's side of the family, they are the Blythes. So it makes me think, like, do I need to ask questions? I'm pretty sure Blythe is right on the edge of Arizona. So that actually makes sense. No, because they're all from here anyways, from Kentucky and
Oh my gosh, that's just too funny.
my dad's stepdad and
Oh, yeah.
stepmom.
All right. Colorado.
Uh-oh. How many of these got to do with weed? No,
None.
they're totally outdoorsy. Like, you're not allowed to breathe.
Oh, just wait.
You cannot wear your North Face jacket unless you have summited Pikes Peak
3 times backwards.
You're not allowed to do yoga on the top of the mountain after 9 p.m.
All right. It is illegal to throw a snowball at anyone or any building since they are considered a type of missile.
Type of missile? Did you say missile?
Yeah.
Okay, I can assure you that the way I throw a snowball is not missile-like. Okay. Not strength whatsoever.
You have T-Rex.
Hey,
T-Rex
yeah,
snowball.
yeah, I have no upper body strength. It will melt by the time it...
But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Here you go. In Boulder, you cannot herd pigs in public. So what do you do if your pigs get out? One
by one. One by one. You can
barrel.
Yeah.
Those like little barrels.
And get flat.
Those radio flyer little wagons.
That's what it is.
Oh wait, what if your pig's really big? Do you ride it?
Gas wagon.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, you can't wear your boots either.
Wear your boots though.
Home.
Not cows.
But what if you got 2 cows at home and you're like, yo, I'm just here.
I
got
wonder
2 cows at home.
if it's like a person can't herd the pigs. You got like herding dogs. So can you send your dog out? Is it the same? Do dogs herd pigs? Well, there's
That's exactly what
and cattle and stuff. Soon they could herd pigs. Huh.
That's a good question.
I was just wondering how it works with pigs. In high school, I was in ag all 4 years. And one time, one of the pigs got loose when we were doing like the showering and before the show. And we had the little gates that you would walk the pigs in. And this pig, so we finally got it in the gate. Well, he kept sticking his nose underneath the gate, trying to launch the gate up. So I jumped on top like I'm about to freaking bull ride this gate. I had bruises up and down my stomach, my ribs, the sides, my boobs, everything. I was bruised from this pig. So way too many.
Oh, just wait.
There's way too many pig stories that come out of where we went to high school.
You know what's funny about that?
We didn't go to Colorado either.
Growing up, my uncle had chickens and he had pigs. They had big old sow. And we made the mistake one time where we would jump on old sow because it was a big ass pig, right?
Yeah.
And we would jump on her and rodeo style her and see who could stay on the longest.
Yeah.
We didn't realize that she had her piglets. And we jumped on old sow
and she attacked
him there. Bad idea. Talk about a rodeo. She was. Yep. But yes, I have rode a pig. That's cool to me.
Wow.
So like winning. I have rode a pig.
Yes. Heather, get on our level. I think I could live my whole life without riding a pig, and I would be okay.
I mean, wait, do you have a dog? I'm like picturing her to get a dog and like just taping a curly tail to it and like, taking a photo.
I do have a cat, and that would actually be a lot more funny.
Like, just picture like it looks like you're riding it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Jeez Louise. All right. This is what cracks me up. Unless you are a city employee exercising official business, it is illegal to roll a boulder onto city property.
What? Only in Colorado. Like,
that's a nice boulder. I like that boulder. That's a nice boulder.
I think you roll it onto their own property. They're like, I'm going to take this boulder and put it down. City Hall.
But what if they got to go across town? Like, how do you do that?
Get it there. You have to roll it.
I try.
I mean, the roads are probably city property. So you're like, just rolling the boulder down the road.
Oh, that's a good point. What if you rolled it up onto something? Maybe apparently I have a thing for wagons right now.
Yeah, roll it on like the wagon.
It's kind of sled because technically it's your property that it's riding around.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Then that's the way you get around it.
Maybe they just don't want you to fuck up their grass.
Probably. Maybe. They take their grass very seriously in Colorado, just like their cell phone.
Oh my gosh. It's just a
missiles.
With the missiles.
How many of these are going to be a weed? Yeah.
Well, my ghost just made it about weed. Way to go. Thanks. Much of teaching here. All right. We have two states left. Connecticut. And this one, I don't know if it's really So in 1948, 2 men were arrested for selling pickles that were considered unfit for human consumption. Wait. What? Discussing ways to check for good pickles, officials declared that a pickle was only legitimate if it could bounce. The pickles in question did not bounce, so the 2 men were arrested and fined, and the pickles were destroyed.
I'm sorry, because when you started your sentence, you said 2 men were arrested for pickles, and in my head, I'm thinking a different kind of pickle. Wait. Bounce?
Fit for human consumption?
No.
But yes, apparently it's illegal. Sell a pickle if it doesn't bounce.
I never knew how you determine a dead pickle. So I will go grab a pickle from my fridge and bounce it on this desk right now and see if I can give it out.
What's that? A full pickle? I've only got slices. How do we do that?
Rachel always has full pickles. I do. She loves her pickles.
Well, I like pickles too. Around here, they're slim pickings.
They're sliced.
Yeah. They're basically just never mind. We're just not even going to get to it. Yes, it's like I go to reach because I just really am craving that pickle. I go to get the jar, open it empty. It is illegal to go faster than 65 miles per hour on a bike. It's not that fast.
That's small.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. The only thing I can think of is, like, what if it's like a motorized bike?
Or like downhill, maybe?
But it's specifically, oh my God.
Specifically pickly.
It specifically said cycling. There we go.
There ain't no way you're going 65 miles on a cycling bike. That's crazy. And how brave and amazing are you? Because I just go around my block and my foot's on the brake the entire time because I'm a chicken shit.
I haven't ridden a bike in forever, and every time I would ride my bike, if my uncle came to visit us, he'd be like, "I'd watch it if I were you. It's illegal to pedal pussy."
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So that's all I can think of every time I get on a bike. Scarred me for life.
I wouldn't ride a bike either.
I wouldn't either.
Actually, I'm going to go burn mine.
Let me show you. Apparently, you also cannot cross the street while walking on your hands. Kudos, though, if you could do that. That's just like something that's just jealous. You know what? You can cross.
But you're too cool to cross here.
What? It's like you're an amputee.
Yeah.
Though, come on, man. Like,
I
it's
hate-
just discriminatory as hell.
Yeah. Rude. Take it back.
Okay, I've never seen an amputee walk on their hands. This is horrible. No offense to anybody out there. I'm so sorry. I've never seen them walk on. Well, oh wait, I guess there's a specify feet in the air. But what if you the crawling?
And that
I guess technically
it's so
long
long
hands.
that's technically still odd.
Then you say
Not cool, guys. Not cool. I didn't even think about that.
Connecticut.
Damn.
Take that back.
All right. So last but not least, why is
decision?
Delaware?
Ooh, Delaware.
So selling, bartering, or offering fur of a domesticated dog or cat is a Class B misdemeanor.
I'd make that shit a felony. Why would you be doing that? You horrible people.
A dog hair I throw out like every few months because I have Shaggy McShagster over here who looks like a damn mop and I have to cut his hair all the time.
Okay, I wasn't thinking of that.
It's like being
That's dirty. We were, my friend stopped by earlier and I'm in the middle of remodeling my downstairs. Not my downstairs, but the downstairs to my house. And I feel like I can't say that after we talk about shapes of our cat. Okay. I walked downstairs and I have not been doing much down there because of how chaotic it is down there. It's like giving me anxiety. And my dog lives down there. She stays down there. And so as we walked downstairs to show her, I was like, please excuse the carpet. And it's just dog hair everywhere. It's just like hardwood flooring down there, but it just looked like carpet with how much that is down there from my dog right now. I feel so bad for her.
I'm just trying to keep a straight face really bad right now.
But the more you tell me, the more I was just like thinking about it. It's like chaotic down there.
Time out. Let's give Rachel a shovel because she just keeps digging.
Oh.
Well, it was like once I was flat committed, I just had to keep going with it. And then it was really hard to even, I didn't want to tell the story, but I felt like I had to keep going in the moment.
That's what she said.
You won't do that.
Well, it's only funny because whenever I, believe it or not, this is how mature people are. P.S. Everybody out there, if you know a ginger, for the love of God, stop asking them if the carpet matches the drapes, all right? Come on. I just got so annoyed with it that I started telling people I don't have carpet, I installed hardwood floors. No, I was laughing hysterically, and as you're talking, I'm just going, oh my God, this is perfect. But yeah, don't do that, guys. We really don't enjoy it. If you think it's going to get you laid or anything, it's going to get you punched in the face, and that's about it. So,
PSI.
Punch. Yeah.
now it's also against the law to rock your pants below the waistline, aka no saggy pants.
Where? Oh, Delaware. Just
Delaware. Where?
Delaware. Delaware, your pants up on your hat. I'm like, please just across the board do that. Because
Everybody
I've seen
pull
it.
your pants.
Yeah.
I literally
And-
went by, I'm like,
and
yo, pull your pants up.
If they're worse than
They're-
others, I'm just like, if they're by your waist, or I can't stand it even more when they're like physically trying to hold them up.
Yeah.
I just want to like literally sock them in the head.
The
Yeah.
worst is when they're
throw a
wearing
snowball at
a
'em.
belt. I'm still wearing it below their butt cheeks.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Ridiculous.
you got a belt, use it.
I'll use it to straighten, huh? What?
All you're doing right now, wearing your pants like that, is making everyone not want to sleep with you because you look like you got no ass. Pull it up, tighten that belt, get your little booty going, and hey, just saying. Get you some leggings if you can't keep your pants. Jeggings. Yeah. Saved a good one for last. In the town of Salisbury, it is illegal to sell condoms from a vending machine that also sells food. Man, on one hand, I'm like, ew, but on the other hand, I'm like, man, if you're doing it right, you get those posto munchies. And it, you'd have that candy bar right there. Bag of chips.
This, I do. If they're all individually packaged,
Yeah.
they open and you're gonna have crumbs from your M&Ms on the condom.
The only thing I can think of is potentially if you have if you have a vending machine that is open to the public, you don't want a child
Fair.
to accidentally get it and choke on it.
Fair.
Maybe. And
I
it's
can
not
see
like
that.
you're vending the munchies and disposing of condoms. That'd be a little. But if you're just buying, but I could see that being the only thing that I could think of is maybe if a kid.
Yeah. Well, there's always a reason of why the law was put into place in the first place. So where was this vending machine and what in the world happened?
It just sounds.
We don't know. We got
It's either Salisbury or Salisbury.
Yeah, but like what in the hell happened? Was it just out at a public park? Was it like in a it's literally inside a building or something? And
It's probably a truck stop.
some Sharon saw it and got really pissed and decided that was going to be her missing. It's me for D4.
Well, he's getting some D, all right. What?
Damn.
It's like machine that's like one of those ones that's like up off the ground, like a tampon machine.
Yeah.
Then maybe.
Yeah. Like I see it like when you go into a woman's bathroom and you use the vending machine to get like a pad or a tampon. Like I see it.
Yeah.
Well, and those are very like, so yeah, they're hired, but they're not like visibly showing, you know what it is, but maybe a 6 or 7 year old, someone's not going to know exactly what that is based on it being a metal box of them. Like the first time my daughter understood what a gumball machine was, because she saw the thing. The next time we were in a lady's bathroom, she just, look, it's gum. I'm like, no, it's not. We'll be very disappointed.
And that for sure.
To what she said about, then you put the money in, you take it out, you unwrap it, put it in your mouth, and you choke on it.
Think it's candy.
I can see that for a kid. You're right. Totally.
Deal. Yes. Just thought I'd put that in there. Now, I've got to at least ask a couple questions before we close up, though, because this is the CryptoCast, right? So, do either of you two have any firsthand spooky experiences?
I don't know if I'm funding in the right. So here's my thing. I've said this before. I think I've said it on our podcast or as a guest. But here's the thing. I am a believer, 100%. I am a believer. I just don't think that myself personally, am very in tune with anything. I just don't think I don't know if it's me just not being open or just in general, my chemistry, my biology, just there genetically. With that being said, I have only had one experience ever, and it's a 50-50 as to whether or not it was actually supernatural, paranormal, or I was just in a very high anxiety situation. So when I was in college, I was volunteering at a state mental hospital. And specifically, I was on the penal code unit. So basically, all of
and it literally goes, dick.
penal.
Yeah, it goes institution. And you said I was at a mental, and I'm going, and then it goes, dick. I was like, oh, wait, wrong, penal. Teen.
Yeah, wrong T. But so the unit I was on was all
they were either awaiting trial or they had already been convicted. So they were either not guilty by reason of insanity or they were awaiting trial because they didn't pass competency, like court competency. Right? So that's where I was volunteering at. And then they asked some volunteers to come on an extra day because they were having a talent show. And this wasn't my regular unit that I was on. When you go there, they give you like a pin, an emergency like thing that you turn on in case you're in an emergency situation. You have to remember, not only are these guys criminals. Now, where I was, it wasn't a lot. It wasn't like serious violent felonies that these people were in for. They did. It wouldn't say that a lot of them hadn't had violence in their past. And you have to remember, some of them have major psychosis. And so like their handle on reality isn't always there. And they asked some people to stay to help with a talent show because they were going to have a bunch of the individuals congregating in one area, which is always, that can be an issue. They teach you a lot of safety things when you're there, but basically what I did was they had everyone stationed around the room, and where I was stationed, I put my back to a corner. And then I was watching the room. So my back was in this corner, I'm watching the room, and they're going through this talent show, and this one individual, she gets up there and she's a poet and she's incredibly talented. And she reads this poem about how having her disorder it's like being in a prison. And then on top of that, she is in an actual lockdown facility, which makes that even harder for her, and not being able to, her trying to cope with this. And so it was very powerful, but then it's one of those things too, where, well, let's just hope you can get the help you need. But right when she finished her poem, and remember, my back is in a corner, I just hear, and I got...
Okay, you just blanked out. Did you say something?
I whispered. I just hear...
Like, it literally, I saw your mouth moving.
Yeah.
Nothing came out. I was like...
Sorry. So someone said my name and whispered my name.
No.
And I was in a corner. And so I look across the room to like other people, because maybe it was one of those things where someone said it and it bounced off the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's paying attention to this woman because the poem that she just said was amazing. And I'm doing double takes and I'm freaking out. And the other thing was, everyone wore badges there, staff wore badges, but my badge didn't have my name on it. So it wasn't like it could have even been another of the individuals or another staff or something who didn't know me saying my name. And so it was just one of those things. And it was one of those places where after every day I was done volunteering, I would finally like walk out of the lockdown gate and I would like breathe a sigh of relief, because you're on your guard the entire time there. And the other thing about this facility, it was one of those state mental facilities that was open up and then got closed down or lost a lot of funding. But it was one of those self-sustaining ones where it used to be a self-sustaining place. They used to have the farm where all of the individuals would do all the things. And of course, there have been plenty of people who have not only experienced a lot of trauma while there, but there have been people who have passed away while they were there. So I know that it's like, full of these kinds of things. And all the buildings are very old. There's a lot of history. And so it was just always, and like I said, I'm a believer, but I don't get a lot of experiences. So that one legitimately freaked me out.
Oh, yeah.
And I was very grateful that I only had one more day of volunteering after that. I was like, I can't be here any longer. I think it's good for my mental health.
Yeah. When you're not used to, even when you're used to it, it still throws you off when you get those legitimate audio things happening. Because it still sometimes throws me off, depending on the voice, what it's saying, or just the fact that I'm not expecting it. I mean, I go everywhere and things talk to me just sporadically all the time. The other day, actually, it was yesterday, I was at work and weird stuff happens at work, and it's not just me. Other people that work with me now it's only when I'm there. It only happens when I'm there. but they witness it. The other day, somebody heard, to them, it sounded like something was dinging, like our door opened, but nobody was in there. But what I heard a girl giggling.
Oh.
At the same time, we both turned and looked.
But it sounded different to you.
Yeah. I heard a person, but then again, I'm like, well, maybe it's because they're not as sensitive as me. So maybe what they heard was them trying to do it.
Rationalize what it was that they heard.
They couldn't pick it up, but I could.
Yeah,
And
totally.
it was just
I see that.
really weird.
I see that for sure.
What about you, Rachel?
Not me specifically. I feel like there's probably been things, and I've just been very closed-minded and shut down to a lot through my life.
Yeah.
And so I feel like even if there were things or maybe things that I look back on memory-wise that I'm like, oh yeah, that definitely could have been something, right? But I'm like, oh, I made it up differently in my head.
Mm-hmm.
What Heather was talking about earlier, my daughter, so she has a friend who lives in the house here, and he's an older guy. I don't think she's given it a name, but she'll make it food. She'll put it out and say, well, we got to leave. He told me he's hungry, and she'll make a plate of food and put it on the table before she goes to school type stuff. And it's not all the time, but it'll happen for a little bit, and then I won't hear anything for a while. And then all of a sudden she'll be like, oh, yeah. Like I'll hear her in her room and she's like, oh, I'm talking to him. And I'm like, no, you're not. Stop.
Ask her if its name is Frank. I know that sounds weird, but ask her if it's Frank. Or something with an app.
And thing for kids to be in.
No, I just feel like there's something with the name Frank. It's something with an F, but Frank's standing out, like Frank or Fred or something. For some reason, that's just what I'm picking up on.
She sleepwalks, and that is something that, like, I struggle with because I'm like, just go your ass to bed, but it just like, freaks me out anyways. And one time I woke up because I heard something, and so her room is like, our doors are right next to each other. Like mine's on this side of the wall and hers is on this side. So as soon as I come out, like her room is right there, and her door is always closed when she's sleeping. So I heard something and I was like, what is that? And then I just thought, okay, she's awake. She'll always call for me, but she wasn't calling for me. And she's 9. And this was probably.
I was getting ready to ask.
She was 8, maybe. But so I come out of my room and I'm like listening, and I'm like, what is she? Like, what is that? And I go and I open the door, and she's sitting up directly, like in her bed, like sitting up in the middle of her bed, just straight up. And I look at her and I'm like, I don't want to say her name. I call her name, and she doesn't respond to me. She doesn't look at me, anything. She just keeps like saying things, but I'm not registering like what the words are. And so I'm looking at her, and she's like this. And I say to her, I was like, who are you talking to? And she goes, you. And I lost my mind. My mind, darling. Nothing did this.
Everything. It goes, I like you. Nothing says it likes you, Rachel.
That's what I did. Oh no.
Going off too. That is crazy.
Oh,
it's a show yourself.
And show yourself. Yeah. So I asked that, and I know like from Step Brothers, you're not supposed to wake someone up like when they're asleep. It
doesn't really do anything to the best of my knowledge. And they do say if somebody's having sleep paralysis, wake them up.
Yeah. Are you sitting up if you're having sleep paralysis? Because a lot of the things that I've heard, you're laying down and you can't really like.
Yeah, usually they say you're laying down. I have been known to sleepwalk occasionally. I also apparently recite creepy things in a guttural voice that sounds like another language in my sleep, and I don't know I'm doing it.
I wouldn't say like
anti-clockwise really, like,
again. Another anti-clockwise. We brought it full circle.
Full circle. Get it?
But we did it backwards.
Wait.
She, like, I couldn't understand what she was saying, but I don't know if it was like another language either. That was what was so weird to me. So when I asked her and she did that like slow turn, directly look at me, my whole entire being like left my body. I was like, absolutely not. That's when I grabbed her. I'm like, girl, like what in the world? Are you okay? Are you okay? And she's, yeah, hey, like totally fine. Nothing. I was like, you were sleep talking and you tripped me out. Now I need you to go to bed. And of course, I didn't go to bed the rest of the night. I just stayed up listening. Is she going to talk to that person?
Yeah.
And that was actually before, I want to say that was before. So she sleptwalked a lot, like throughout her whole life. But that instance was before the talking to the ghost.
Mm-hmm.
That happened after the fact.
Yeah, because the ghost is a little more recent in your guys'. And here's the thing that I want to say about Rachel and Kay is that Rachel is an incredibly empathic person.
Mhm.
Like in terms of connecting to people, she's incredibly empathic. And I know for a fact that has been passed down to Kay. Kay is an incredibly empathic person. And so what I'm wondering is if that just innate empathic ability has now branched out, and to the point where Rachel, I believe, because of her being an empath, like she said, she's like closed. She's not inviting, but I wonder if Kay is a little just more at being a kid, just a little more open. Because I know that both Rachel and Kay are incredibly empathic people.
She's also raised so different than I was, because I was raised to be shut down and to not allow anything like that. And I raised her in the sense where it's, if you're feeling or if you're saying or if you're experiencing something, talk to me. Let's, And so I feel like that does play a huge factor in that.
100%.
Yeah, it does. That makes sense to me a little bit. I was just wondering, like, with the age and everything. Now, it could be one thing, but if you want to go skeptical, I always like to look at everything from both directions.
Love it.
Has she ever had a sleep study done?
No.
Well, we were trying to debunk me and it failed miserably. But they did a sleep study because I was doing weird shit. And sometimes they say, like, once you get to a certain point in your sleep, your body's not shut down, but your mind will go. So that's when you start doing things but your body's just not shut down like it's supposed to.
Right.
And it's just something like when you get to so far into your cycle, some people just, it's almost like I don't really want to call it a malfunction, but it doesn't function properly for quote unquote normal people.
Yeah.
So they do that. So that would be interesting to know if she ever gets the sleep study done, to know about that. Because two, it might be like I've had conversations with people in my sleep that freak other people out because I'm talking and sometimes I'll turn like their direction, but I'll remember because I have very vivid, like, what do they call it? Fluid dream, whatever that is.
Lucid dreams.
Lucid, thank you, fluid, Jesus. But I have lucid dreams a lot. And they'll be like, oh, you turned talking about. I was like, no, because I remember what I was dreaming about. And I remember I turned, but I was looking at so-and-so. It wasn't you. It had nothing to do with you. But from their perspective, it was really creepy because it looked like I was doing it. But my husband's woke me up, well, back whenever I actually slept in bed. A couple of times he woke me up because I was like out cold. And then all of a sudden it was like, and like, I mean, my eyes were like rolling back. Like he was freaking out. So it woke him up. I joke about it. To be fair, I don't think it's really a joke, but I'm like, there's a demon that's been following me since I was younger and it just hangs out. And I'm like, I think there's something in here that tries to get out sometimes. But yeah, it freaked him to the point that he was like, what are you doing? I was like, just let the demon sleep. And then I went back to bed. But I've gotten up and ate stuff. Like I woke up and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, when did I eat this? I just woke up with wrappers by my bed, water bottles. I'm like I get up and function.
That's crazy.
Sometimes. But I do take medicine now and it's better. I do still have weird dreams. It's only creepy now whenever I have the dreams that I call them dreams. Technically, I guess you could classify it as like a premonition because they happen. Those are creepy. But overall, mine are very violent and vivid. And I'm just wondering, at what age do kids, maybe she'll grow out of it? What age do they have invisible friends? How do we know that it's not an invisible friend? Although, that's why I was asking you, has she ever explained what he looks like to you? If she has, don't tell me.
Has, and I don't remember. but the only thing that I remembered is what I already said. That
An older guy.
Yeah.
Because whenever I was asking about a Frank or Fred, it's something with an F. But it was like all I could. Now, granted, I don't know if it's you or if it's here because I get all kinds of crap passing through here. But I was also thinking of it was like an older guy, but like real old, not like sexy silver fox. But I'm talking like
Decrepit.
age spots, like balding, glasses. He was really thin. That's what I'm picturing in my head. But again, I don't know if that's you or me. But that's just made me think of it. But yeah, that's really.
I don't know. And it's one of those things where it's like part of me, like when she gets home, I want to be like, what's he look like? And then part of me wants to be like, don't bring it up until she brings it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you could just be like, oh, you know what? I was. Okay, does she know that you're different?
Yeah.
You could use that. Hey, I was just getting this really weird feeling today, and I was just curious. Your friend that you talk to all the time, can you tell me what he looks like? Maybe I talked to the same one.
Yeah.
If it
And
doesn't
so-and-so
freak her
said
out.
he was hungry today. She'd be like, wait, why are you talking to my friend?
Yes. My friend, Mom, not yours.
Yeah, this is my friend. Which, because that's the thing, too, is I used to talk to people that I thought were there.
Yeah.
That apparently, but then again, it was one, like you said, I look back on it and I'm like, nobody else, like everybody else thought I was weird because they didn't know who I was talking to. But to me, I knew exactly who I was talking to.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
And that's it. See, and that's what's different. And that's why I truly think that what Kay's experiencing is different. Because, like, I have a daughter, and she did for a year or 2 years have an imaginary friend who she kept calling her sister, but she'd never talk to this person. She would talk about them. She'd say, "Oh, Una told me this. Una goes to kindergarten. Una is 100 years old," and she just like, makes things up. But I never see her saying, "Hi, Una, how are you today?" Like not having an actual conversation. And that was when my kid was like 3 to 4. Is when she experienced that. And then, like, she hasn't done it now, knock on wood. Let's see what happens today. She's going to start doing it. But it's like she hasn't done it in, like, close to a year. And so I think she grew out of that. Now, Kay's a lot older, and it's more of a very interactive, not just, like, talking about. Like, it's an interactive thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, too. Because, like, whether being older, I was like, man, if it was an invisible friend, you would think that they would be gone by now.
Yeah.
But it is very interesting because one thing I tell people also is there's obviously full apparitions that people could physically see in front of them. But sometimes I feel that I don't know if it's an energy requirement, if it's an ability requirement or situation. I don't know what it is, but sometimes I've had things in front of me.
Yeah.
That this is haunted. I literally one time asked my mom if my sister had a friend over when I was younger because I saw a girl, my sister's age. I saw her. She was right there. I went to talk to her. She took off down a hallway and then just vanished. I thought my sister had a friend over. So I was like, hey, Mom. I was like, who's the friend? Like, it's late. She used to be in bed. I was like, what are you talking about? There's nobody here. So that was fun. But a lot of times, too, I feel like if there are spirits and such that are around that are actual people spirits, specify, because there are different ones. I think that sometimes they allow you to see them the way they want you to, but not physically, but in your mind. Like I have some stuff where I can feel like there's something in here, but I can like close my eyes and be like, okay, I can tell you like, are they male? Are they female? Are they old? Are they young? Like even down to the hairstyle sometimes, like it's like I can literally close my eyes and I can picture them talking
It's like the mental image they're projecting of themselves is what you're like seeing in your mind's eye, not necessarily like,
yeah.
Totally.
And so that might be something too, where it'd be interesting to know to her, is it physically in front of her? Or is she's hearing a voice that she's picturing what he looks like?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does.
Okay, one last question for both of you before we wrap up. Okay. What is your favorite cryptid? Oh, it just said boring. It didn't like that. Sorry. It wants to talk about ghosts.
Well, I can just say that so I don't know a lot about cryptids.
Yeah, same.
It's funny because I'm a huge podcast junkie and I have a plethora of stuff that I listen to. And I am so intrigued by so many things. And so this, I'm not going to say is my favorite, but I am going to say ever since I heard your Puckwudgie episode, it is my favorite name of a cryptid.
It is the Puckwudgie.
I'm like, I do love the name of a cryptid.
Yep, I love that one too.
I'm like, so that's high up there. Probably the Loch Ness Monster.
That like the same as me. Okay, I'll choose the one because they've been to Loch Ness. And yeah,
that's so bad. Well, how do you pick? Subscribe and donate. I want to get
seriously, so you can go. So the funny thing is, we did like a whole thing around like England, Scotland, and then I think we did Wales as well. I was very young though. I was like 7, but my parents were stationed over there. We were getting ready to leave back to the US, so we were doing like the tour around and stuff. And we didn't stay, I think, there because there are several places to stay on Loch Ness.
Yeah.
But we went to it. My dad was talking to one of the inn managers and stuff like that. And my dad always says he remembers the inn manager saying, "Oh yeah, you can see him, especially after a couple of drinks. You can see."
Yeah, of course.
But I remember staring out and wanting so badly to catch a glimpse. And I really do think there is something to it. And yeah, so I would say for sure, either that or there was one, if I can't pick the same one as Rachel, I'm going to try to remember because I feel like Scott and Ryan may have covered it at some point when they did their they do their grad bag cryptids episodes. But I want to say, I think I heard it from them. It was like a Jersey Devil.
The Jersey Devil, yeah. Yeah. That one was actually, I met one of the descendants from the original Jersey Devil, like the family. I met him at CryptidCon last year.
That's crazy.
He's crazy.
Yep. And he had 2 kids with him. They were really nice people.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, that one I would have to say then if I can't pick the same one as Rachel.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But I guess we'll go ahead. I'm sorry, I totally was intending this not being. It's just like, I don't like it.
No, they're like,
I'm getting ready to stop, and it's like, no. Keep them on here. I don't know. We'll play live.
Keep it.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate you guys being on here. Again, to my listeners, check the description. So all of their links are going to be on there. So make sure that you listen and you like and you subscribe and you follow and you do whatever you need to do because these ladies rock. And that's what we do here.
Thank you.
That's fine.
Thank you so much.
All right. And then that other one, if we ever maybe.
I need you to do that one for us. 100%.
Okay. I will hoard it with your name on it.
Please do. Don't give it to anyone else because I want it. I would love it.
All right. We will definitely do that. But until next time, everybody, I'll see ya.
All right. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy. If you wouldn't mind, please take a moment and give the show a 5-star review wherever you're listening. I know it might not seem like much, but it greatly helps the show and allows people to find us more easily. Also, head on over to www.patreon.com/Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy and subscribe to any of the tiers. Members of the Big Show tier get bonus materials, personalized shoutouts on the pod, ad-free episodes, access to the private Discord server, quarterly appreciation gifts, and a chance to be on the show. Not to mention video versions of the episode. Before you go, don't forget to click the link in the description and grab yourself or someone you know some self-designed merch by me, or make a donation to help keep the show going and fund future events and investigations. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Threads, and TikTok. If you have any questions, topic recommendations, or personal encounters, please send them to cryptidscreepsandconspiracy@gmail.com or submit them through the contact form at www.cryptidscreepsandconspiracy.com. I would love to hear from you and share your experiences on a listener episode. Just make sure that you specify that I have permission to add your encounter to the show and let me know whether or not you would like your real name read or an alias to maintain confidentiality. Thank you guys all again so much for your support. Until next time, my friends. See ya.